Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Diecast OutKast here, episode 39. Can I use a red sharpie for paint? We are about to find out. And today the casting that we are using is a third generation Camaro. The third generation Camaros was from 1982 to 1992, and I have owned quite a few of these throughout the years. And I am talking on a 1-to-1 scale. I've had an IROC and a couple RSs and a couple Z28s, T-tops, and hardtop cars. I'm a big fan of anything from the 80s, so this car fits me perfectly. I, in fact, own one at this very moment. It's an 85 Z28. This is the ultimate mullet machine. It has a 350 4-bolt main, 292 cam, double hump heads. Anyways, we're going to get started with this Hot Wheels casting. It's a fairly new casting. The first step is to drill out the post. And like I was saying earlier, I'm a huge third gen Camaro fan, but I'm even a bigger second gen Camaro fan. I also own a 1979 Z28. It is a T-top car, 350 automatic, 373 gears, and it is a fun car. Hopefully I'll be able to restore it one of these days back to its original gold with the gold Z28 stripes and the tan interior. If you use the right drill bit, you'll see that the head pops off in a complete circle. It takes a little bit to master, but practice makes perfect. Now we're going to take a 256 tap and tap the hole out. And I like using the 256 Phillips head screws. You can get these on eBay or Amazon in bulk, pretty cheap. Now we're going to send the body into some citrus strip. Now this stuff takes a little bit longer for the paint to come off, but when it comes off nice and clean. While we're waiting on the paint to strip, we're going to drop this glass that came out of the car into some Pledge Floor Care polish. This will give it that little bit extra shine. So I rubbed these wheels off a Matisto Grand National Turbo T, whatever you want to call it. But it looked like it had the IROC wheels on it. If this was a 1-to-1 scale, it looked like it would probably be a 18-inch or a 20-inch wheel, which works out perfectly because I was going for a pro touring style look. So I went ahead and took the tires off and painted up the wheels with a chrome pen. We're going to extract some ink from the muzzle top pen and we'll brush it on. This stuff works awesome if you have patience. It takes quite a while to dry, but if you can leave it alone, it turns out great. Now we're going to do some details on the interior. I'm using the cheap apple blossom paint that you could buy from Walmart for 50 cents a bottle. It's a water-based acrylic paint, and I added just a tiny bit of Createx reducer, and it made it flow very well. So now we're going to extract the ink from the Sharpie. I bought the Sharpies for $1 a piece at the dollar store. And I live a couple blocks away from Walgreens, so I bought some 92%, 91% isopropyl alcohol. So after doing some research, I figured out that you need to put just about as much alcohol in the bottle that you're going to use, and we're going to turn the Sharpie ink into alcohol ink. As you can see here, I had 2 bottles and I filled those 3/4 of the way, maybe a little bit more, with alcohol. Now I'm going to take the tip off the Sharpie, throw it in the cup, then we're going to take the rest of the Sharpie apart and pull the ink tube out. Just so it fits in the cup, we're going to cut it in half. And that appears that I cut myself. You're going to cut a slit in the plastic down the tube. Drop those in the cup with the alcohol. So I really didn't cut myself. I still have all my fingers. So I've done the research on making alcohol ink out of Sharpies, but I haven't done it before, so your guess is as good as mine about how much we should use. I'm just going to try 2 Sharpies and we'll see where we go from here. We're going to add the amount of alcohol that we put in these 2 small bottles. The alcohol will extract the ink, and I let this sit for about an hour, hour and a half. I have this little tea thing here that we're going to use as a filter to extract the ink into. Well, hell, that wasn't well thought out, was it? That's okay, I need another cutting mat anyway. I just said some bad words. So with this alcohol ink that we had, that we made from the Sharpie, we're going to put some 2K urethane clear in there. Probably 10 to 15 drops of it. So what we're doing is we're using the ink to dye the clear coat that we are using to give it the candy look. We're going to give it a shake, and FYI, a week later it still looks just like this, so it mixed up very well. There was no separation or anything. So let's go ahead and pull the body out of the stripper. This was about 30 minutes sitting in the citrus strip. After we cleaned it and brushed it with wire brush, we're going to go over it with a heavy-duty Scotch-Brite green pad. Scissor strip worked great. I went ahead and went back over it with some degreaser and Dawn dish soap, and then we're going to paint it flat black from Rust-Oleum as a primer. This stuff works very well. I highly recommend it. You can see how smooth it is. With every good candy base, we're going to go with some Wicked Colors Gold. This is Createx paint, water-based, and we're going to go with a few drops of the reducer. About 3 coats of gold, and here it is. It's very sparkly, very pretty. Now we're going to go ahead and add some hardener to the candy concoction that we made from the clear coat and the Sharpie marker alcohol ink. And here's about 5 coats that we put on this thing. Since there wasn't a ton of ink, we knew that it wasn't going to saturate a whole lot, but enough to make this very beautiful color. And this is what we started with, a 3rd Gen Camaro Hot Wheels. We are taking a Sharpie, extracting the ink, and making an alcohol ink out of it, mixing it with a 2K clear, and calling that a candy. What I'm trying to tell you guys is to make sure that you step outside of the box and try something new. Even if you fail, you're still learning something. So give me a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys think of the candy paint made from a Sharpie. And here's the final result. We did the detail and added the new wheels. We went over the gold with the homemade Spectra Flame paint made from a Sharpie, and I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. It is a burnt orange looking paint. I'd like to encourage you guys to think outside of the box, try something new. Let me know how it turns out. You can email me at Diecast_OutKast@yahoo.com or send me a comment. I am very happy on how this turned out. Stay tuned for some information on a new challenge that I came out with. We're going to do a red line on May 18th. We're going to call it National Red Line Day.
They're the fastest metal cars you've ever seen. Mattel's new Hot Wheels. Collect them by themselves or get them in wild new action sets, like the drag race action set. the stunt action set. The Hot Curves race action set. Get Mattel's new Hot Wheels, the fastest metal cars you've ever seen.
What's up, everybody? This is Diecast OutKast here. We're going to do a challenge for National Red Line Day. May 18th, 1968 was the day that Hot Wheels released the first Red Lines Sweet 16 cars. So I'm going to issue this challenge, and all you got to do is either restore or do a custom on a Red Line from 1968 to 1977. You get bonus points if it is a Sweet 16 from 1968, which is what you're seeing here on the screen. Rules are simple. Build a Red Line Hot Wheels. Email me at diecast_outcast@yahoo.com so I can keep track of everybody. And if you don't mind, send me any more social media that you have, and I will add it to the list of people that is doing the challenge.
Ready for the next episode. Hey.